Welcome to This Explainer, where we're diving straight into history's ultimate underdog story. Today, we're literally putting you in the sandals of the ancient world's most famous rebel. We aren't just rattling off dates and battles here. We're going to walk through this exact timeline as if it were your own life, step by step. Let's get into it.
Just imagine this for a second. You're born a free person in Thrace, an area famous for its fierce warriors, right around 111 BC. And then, in a flash, you lose everything. Your homeland, your name, your actual freedom. Gone. But then, against literally all conceivable odds, you rise from those chains to command a massive army that shakes the seemingly invincible Roman Republic to its absolute core. It sounds like a Hollywood script, right? But this is real history.
Section 1. The Loss of Humanity. Enslaved and Sold.
So Rome doesn't see you as a human being anymore. To them, you're just property. You're captured, enslaved, and because you've got this raw physical strength and incredible fighting skill, you suddenly become highly valuable, but in the worst possible way. You're sold to a gladiator school down in Capua, run by a guy named Lentulus Badiatus. And life here? It's unimaginably brutal. You are literally forced to train for fights to the death, all for the public entertainment of crowds who cheer as people kill each other on the sand. It's an existence completely designed to break your spirit.
But here's the thing, you aren't just strong, you're smart. You look around at the other enslaved people and gladiators suffering beside you in that training yard, and a really dangerous thought takes root. You realize that a lot of them used to be free people too. You look at the guards, you look at your fellow captives, and it hits you. There are simply way more of you than there are of them.
Section 2. Spark of Rebellion, the 73 BC breakout.
The year is 73 BC, and you make your move. You and about 70 other desperate gladiators stage a sudden, daring breakout. You don't have swords or shields, right? So you arm yourselves with whatever you can grab, stealing kitchen knives and meat skewers from the school's kitchen. With these makeshift weapons, you violently fight your way out of Capua and bolt into the wilderness, eventually seeking refuge high up on the slopes of Mount Vesuvius. Talk about a desperate gamble for survival.
Meanwhile, down in Rome, the Senate is completely unbothered. They assume this is just a minor, localized slave riot, so they send a small, standard force to quickly mop up the problem. Huge mistake. They vastly underestimate you. You and your highly trained fellow gladiators absolutely crush this Roman force. And here's the crucial part. You strip the dead. You finally get to trade those kitchen skewers for actual Roman weapons and armor.
Section 3. The Impossible Army, Growing Forces.
Word of this stunning victory spreads like absolute wildfire across the countryside. Enslaved people from all over the region begin flocking to join your cause. We're talking field workers, herdsmen, and other escaped gladiators. Within months, your tiny ragtag band of 70 fugitives grows exponentially. And you don't just let them stay a disorganized mob. You organize them. You actually use the very combat tactics Rome forced you to learn, and you use them to train your new army.
What follows is honestly an unprecedented campaign. For nearly 2 entire years, you absolutely humiliate the Roman Republic. Your forces roam freely across southern Italy, winning battle after battle against the Roman legions sent to crush you. You even managed to defeat forces led by both of Rome's consuls, the highest elected officials in the Republic, at the exact same time. It is just an astonishing feat of military strategy.
At your absolute peak, historical accounts suggest your makeshift army swells to well over 100,000 people. Just think about that. The most powerful, organized military machine in the ancient world is being consistently outmaneuvered and humiliated by an army built entirely from escaped slaves.
Section 4. Fracture and Fall, Divided Ranks.
But then, disagreement tears through your ranks, fundamentally dividing your forces. One faction, perhaps sticking to your original vision, wants to march north, cross the Alps, and return to true freedom in their respective homelands. But another massive faction, emboldened by 2 years of unbroken victories, demands that you stay in Italy. They want to keep fighting, plunder the rich countryside, or, incredibly, march directly on the city of Rome itself. This strategic split, it's really the beginning of the end.
While your forces are busy arguing over strategy and starting to split up, Rome finally stops underestimating you. The Senate takes the existential threat seriously and appoints a man named Marcus Licinius Crassus to command the legions. Now, Crassus is ruthless, enormously wealthy, and incredibly ambitious. He's handed a blank check and absolute orders to end your rebellion at any cost whatsoever.
The momentum shifts almost instantly. Crassus brings down the full, organized might of the Roman war machine. After 2 glorious years of defiance, he manages to corner your fractured forces in southern Italy. In 71 BC, the final, desperate battle goes down, and your impossible army is definitively crushed. You fight to the bitter end and are killed in the carnage. In fact, the devastation is so total that your body is never even identified among the thousands of dead.
Section 5. Echoes of Rebellion, the Grim Aftermath. See, Crassus isn't just looking for a military victory here. He wants to send a horrifying psychological message to anyone else dreaming of freedom. He takes 6,000 surviving rebels from your army and has them crucified all along the Appian Way, the main road leading straight into Rome. Their bodies are left up for months. It's a miles-long avenue of unimaginable suffering, specifically designed to break the spirit of every enslaved person in the Republic. But here's the incredible part. Despite Rome's brutal attempts to erase you and terrify others into submission, they completely fail to kill what you represent. You went from a forgotten, enslaved gladiator without a homeland to the fearless leader of a force that terrified an absolute superpower. You became, and honestly remain today, one of history's most enduring and powerful symbols of resistance against oppression.
So, stepping out of Spartacus's sandals and looking back at this incredible journey, weighing those moments of breathtaking freedom against the immense, tragic human cost at the end, I want to leave you with one final question to answer for yourself as we wrap up this explainer. Knowing exactly how